Hey everybody, Dan and John here for Mailbag Monday for July 22nd. We had an email from Mahir, I think that's how you say his name. He writes, "Hello John, I've been a fan of your site ever since 2009 and I was wondering if you could help me with a project of mine. I'm from the Maryland area and I'm currently enrolled in a summer class at American University. Is there any more American of university than American University? My project concerns high school and whether or not it really prepares students for college. And knowing that you're a proud college dropout, I'd really appreciate it if you could help me document your opinion on the subject. These are a few of my questions. Feel free to leave out any information you're not comfortable sharing because I'll most likely publish your quotes in an article on teen.americanobserver.net. Well, be sure to send me the link after the article goes live. I really want to see it. This first question is, and we'll both be answering these.
Okay.
How did you perform in high school, GPA, etc.? I had probably like a 3.75, like the weighted GPA in high school. I did a ton of, what were those classes called? AP classes, and I passed almost every AP test that I took, except for probably history. I think was the only one that I didn't pass. But I had a bunch of college credits going into college, and yeah, I was a pretty good student in high school, even though I never tried. What about you?
Same. Did honors in AP through the whole time, and yeah, I got a bunch of college credit. Probably had somewhere between 3.5 and 4.0. So, pretty good student.
Now, the second question is, how did you perform in college? So I did the engineering school at the University of Colorado, and Carl's shaking
the camera.
Carl, quit moving, dude. Yeah, I did not do very well. I had probably between a 2 and a 2.5, and that's why I dropped out or was asked to leave, depending on who's telling the story.
I did pretty well in college. Stuck with it. I don't know, maintained above 3.0. Didn't. I say I tried probably the same amount that I tried in high school.
Really?
Not full, but yeah.
Yeah, so I did 2.5 years of college, and then I did 2.5 years at the University of Colorado, and then I did another 2 semesters at various community colleges where I did extremely well and basically got straight A's. But that was because it was an interesting subject, like web development and stuff like that, so that was actually interesting stuff. Next question is, what was the classroom atmosphere like in high school? How do you think it differed from the college atmosphere? The high school atmosphere was everybody was on the same team, and everybody would help everybody out by like helping them cheat or giving them answers or do whatever they could just to make sure everybody passed. In college, it felt much more competitive. Even though, I mean, like you can certainly find people to help you, like with the homework answers or whatever, but it certainly wasn't as close-knit of a group in college. And the classes were obviously much, much smaller in high school, like maybe 30 maximum per classroom. And then college, I mean, 150 to 300 person lectures. It was just like you had no relationship with the teacher at all, ever. And then what were those called? You had like
recitation.
The recitation teachers were usually taught by grad students that barely spoke English. And those were even worse than the lectures. I hated every minute of it. What about you?
I thought the main difference was, class size, and in high school, someone's making sure you're there, someone cares if you show up to class.
That's a good point. Yeah.
College is independent. Like, if you want to fuck up, that's on you, and if you want to do well, you can do that too. So, it's a lot more self-discipline, at least at CU, which is, 20 to 30,000 undergrads or something insane, where I'm sure there's plenty of tiny colleges where you can get the high school experience.
Yeah, but our state university was a very big school, and our high school was a very big school too. Like, remember how big our graduating class was? I mean,
500 or 600.
Yeah, 500 or 600 people. So it's not like that was small by any means either. And it was they're both public state schools.
But I'd say as far as difficulty, they're the same. Like, college is not harder than high school. If you're doing AP and honors stuff, college is not going to, kill you. You'll be absolutely fine. I thought my junior year of high school was the hardest year
Really?
I had of any year of school.
Huh. Okay. Well, not for me.
But I did not go to the engineering school.
Not in the engineering school. Engineering school, the last classes I took were thermodynamics, material sciences, statics, and like some 5th level calculus and whatever.
So yeah, it does depend a lot on.
It depends a lot on the classes that you take because, yeah. Anyway, how does the stress of college differ from that of high school? So you kind of touched on this just a second ago, where you said that the stress is different in high school because you had someone there watching you to make sure that you were there on time, and if you weren't in attendance in class, an automated system would call your parents and tell them that you weren't in class. Whereas college, I never made an 8 a.m. class.
And your parents don't get your report card in college.
Right. Your parents don't get your report card. Like, you have to sign some waiver so that your parents can actually see your report card, which I never did.
Yeah.
So they probably think I got straight A's and just didn't like going. But who fucking knows?
I'd say the difference between them is responsibility.
Yeah.
If you're not responsible, you're not going to do well in college.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least in a big college. You need your hand held.
Did you use any of the skills you picked up in high school in college?
Oh yeah.
No, not at all. I mean, like, I guess some of the things I learned in class, maybe, but I wouldn't call those skills. Like basic programming and calculus, I was really glad I went into college knowing that stuff, because it would have been very tough to learn like the fundamentals of calculus and the fundamentals of programming in such a big environment. And it was really nice to have that background when I went into like the big lecture halls and was kind of a step ahead of most people. But like skills like, managing a calendar or taking notes, fuck no, I didn't learn those until years after dropping out of college.
I guess I took that question as even courses in high school, not just skills, but like being able to write competently, having a decent vocabulary, not sounding like a moron when you write things.
I cheated, and I think you cheated on every vocab test too, which is one of the things that I regret in high school. So like in the English class, you'd have the vocab test every week. You're supposed to learn 10 words, and I cheated on every single test. Like, I cheated all the time in high school, and like high school was a fucking joke. And I think that's why I did poorly in college, because like I never had to try in high school. It was just a complete joke. And then when I got into college, it was like, oh, I actually have to read the textbook more than a day before the test. That doesn't make sense. I don't know how to prepare more than a day ahead of time. Like, yeah, that's college taught me basically you don't know what the fuck you're doing. What caused you to drop out of college? Grades. Do you think your high school education had anything to do with that decision? No. I dropped out because I knew I hated engineering, and I didn't want to be doing math forever. And I knew I hated most of the people, like the other students in engineering. They're fucking nerds, like ultra dweebs that can't communicate with anybody. I've always kind of like, we're nerds.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of prided myself on the fact that I don't think I come off as like an ultra nerd like a lot of the people in the engineering school. And you're gonna be an asshole and say something negative just to undermine my confidence, but I really don't think I do. Where did we attend high school? We both went to Grandview High School it's south of Denver. It's a big school. We were like one of the, like the 4th graduating class or something like that. It was a very new school when we went there. It's a big school.
Yeah.
Do you think high school prepared you for college?
Yep. I was ready. I did not feel overwhelmed. The only thing that was overwhelming was getting mono the first day.
I never felt overwhelmed. I never felt overwhelmed. I just didn't know. Like, it took me dropping out of college to realize that you have to kind of plan. Like, I would never do anything more than 12 to 24 hours ahead of time. Like, I was always last minute on everything. Like, I would never, like, I was behind on day one of every fucking class I was in. And high school did not prepare me to be more than, like, I was always catching up. and I was always just like, fuck it, I'll cram on the way to class. I'll do the homework on the bus. On like, you know, you're taking the bus in college, because we live kind of far away, and I would do the homework on the bus like, every single day. Or, you know, I was always procrastinating as much as humanly possible. Which just probably explains why we're doing this Mailbag Monday on Monday at noon, and I'm going to post it as soon as we're done recording this. So that mentality still lives on strong.
Procrastination's a hard thing to break.
It is, and I'm getting better, but I'm still not good at it. What is your overall opinion on your high school education? It was a really good school. They had some good teachers, but lots of advanced options if you wanted to do that kind of stuff. Yeah. What do you think about Grandview?
I thought it was a great school.
Yeah?
Probably one of the better school districts in the state, and yeah, I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, it was a good high school.
It's hard to say. You only go to one high school.
Right.
I mean, if we had transferred, you could say, "Oh yeah, my first one was terrible," and then.
Well, okay, compared to what other people say, or just your opinion. It doesn't have to be.
Thought I got a great education.
Yeah, I think I got a good enough education. I never liked school ever. I mean, like, I reapplied within the last couple months to go back to college and to the University of Denver, but they said no, and I was kind of relieved that they said no, because I would have had to go back to school, and I fucking hate school. I've hated school every day I've ever gone, and I love teaching myself stuff. So I said after I dropped out of CU, I did some community college stuff where I did a bunch of web design stuff, but I had already taught myself everything about web design, and that was just basically, you know, to get certified that I knew what I was doing with web design stuff, so I could get some small jobs doing web design stuff. Like, I hate school, but I love to learn, and I've always taught myself everything that I want to know. Like, I've never, like, I cook all the time, but no one's ever taught me anything about cooking other than just like a few simple things from my parents or my sister, because they're all very good cooks. But I just like to learn myself, and school doesn't let you do that. They just fucking sit you down and lecture you, and I fall asleep instantly. Like, I fucking zone out completely when I'm in school. I fucking hate it. What about you?
I like school.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nerd.
I'd say the only like negative thing about school is for high school was doing English classes and like analyzing books made me hate reading, and I loved reading as a kid, and I hated it in high school, and I kind of liked it again in college because it was better, but still you had to do like look into it like too much.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I feel like it's bullshit. Like, anyone can make up anything, any interpretation.
Yeah.
And there's like a right way to read something, and then once I graduated and I started reading for pleasure again, I fucking love reading again. So, that's my problem with school.
Alright, well, thanks for the letter. If you want to email us, you can email us at wikigameguides@gmail.com, and if you want to mail us something for Mailbag Monday, you can send it to 1667 Vine Street. That's Denver, Colorado, 80206. All the information is in the description below. Thanks for watching. Game on.
Game on.